have to open the idea. You have to be open to the idea of creating different characters and taking going off other different experiences and not make it and not letting everything be raised different. So I think that people, the problem I have with most people when shit, okay, there was just a thing, whatever. But like when you talk about creating characters, it's a whole different model. Like it's completely different, and you have to be open to the idea. Go off other race experiences. You just can't be like, oh yeah, I'm creating black characters for black folks. Like that's closed minded, and you don't get
Yeah,
anywhere.
so close-minded, man. You need to be able to make an alien, a damn ghost, or something other, a demon, or some shit. You can make otherworldly type characters. It doesn't have to be what's directly about. Oh, because you're of African descent, you have to make a black character. It's like that's so stupid, man. They need to be a little more open-minded than that shit. And these guys probably can't even write in the first place. They're gonna make some dumbass black character that just does stupid shit. It's just gonna be an stereotype archetype shit.
Yeah,
They can't write any goddamn way.
that's one thing I truly fucking notice about people who just want to say, man, we need more black characters in comic books. Okay, but if the characters are just idea, then I can't relate to the character. Like to me in general, it called me crazy. I can relate to Captain America. I can relate to Captain America, Iron Man, Batman more. Even though they're not black, I can still relate to them because I see a lot of myself in these characters.
Because they're good characters. And even Black Panther, because he was well written, you can relate to him even though he is black. He's a good character. You have black characters that suck. What's a good example of a black character that sucks? Damn, it's hard to think of one because I don't even follow ones that suck that often. But there's black characters that do suck in comics that are archetypes, even worse than even Black Panther are, and that are just you can't relate to them and shit because they're not poorly written and shit. It's like uh, black women just watching Medea just because it's a made about black comedian. It's like it's not funny,
Yeah.
but you're always
It's,
watching because it's
you know
black.
what? And when they don't realize that the Medea movies make black folks look way bad, bro. That shit is very. I hate that word offensive, but still, like watching that shit, like, and that's what I'm saying. When I create characters, I'm open to open dynamics. Like I've been creating cults and Asian cults and like secret societies and shit like that. Like I've been doing a lot of things. I've been doing a lot of things that's completely different, and I've been trying to be open to the idea of creating other cults. And I've been trying to say, you know what, fuck this shit. Like I'm fed up with this idea of, oh, we gotta have black man write a black female character or a black creator creating black characters. That doesn't mean shit. If the creator is on some racist bullshit, I'm not reading the characters because I read comic books to hate the real world. I don't want to read about real world issues. I don't mind you being political, like in one or two issues or whatever. Cool. But the problem is, do that shit. Like that shit become fucking annoying as fuck. Like fam, like I don't make everything about race when I create characters. Like one, because to me, I want all people to relate to my characters. Asian, Mexican, Dominican. It don't matter what religion you come from. You can be a woman. It don't matter. I want people to relate to a character, and even though the character may be a male, and a female say I can't relate to this character, you see a lot of yourself in the character, right? Like, and that's what I'm saying. With when you're doing that shit, you have to create and be open to ideas. You can't just be closed minded and say, well, fuck it, I'm just gonna create black characters. Because all you doing is saying is, well, fuck it, I'm just gonna be closed minded here, and then you go nowhere, and you be like, well, fuck it, and you get upset, and a couple months of your characters, the issues ain't selling, and be like, your writing fucking sucks because you don't see how closed minded that shit is. Being closed minded in anything is fucked up, you know?
Yeah, man, and look at what Marvel's doing right now. They're making Iron Man a black female for no reason, when that was traditionally a white man character based on the real life Howard Hughes kind of. And then it's like you're making Thor a woman and shit like that. They're doing just some horrible stuff. Even really the Black Spider-Man and Ultimate, I don't really like, but at least that's just a different. That's not the main Marvel universe. But the main Marvel 616 universe, they're changing the races and the genders for no damn reason. Instead of making, they could just create a new X-Men character that is a black female. If they want more black females on, because that's easy to make an X-Men because it's just a mutant. There's a mutant person born with the mutant gene. You got a black female character because Logan is like Wolf. Storm is African. You can have more. You can just have a person that's born with mutant power that is happens to be black or whatever. But they don't do that. They want to change Iron Man to a black female, and it sucks.
Yeah,
It's like
it does
I
suck.
love Iron Man. I relate to Iron Man just being a white man. I still relate to Iron Man.
Yeah.
more than I'm going to relate to a black female.
Yeah, like even to the point where for me, when I talked about this all the time, even though I think I enjoyed the Marvel Netflix characters, like you see so many times, I'm a black man in America, and I'm gonna say this to piss off a lot of people. I don't think just because a person is a black person, you have a black content creator, just because like a person is black, don't mean it's said that person create a great character. And I think sometimes we get so caught up in this closed-minded, like I said before, that closed-minded thinking where we go into it and say, "Oh man, well fuck it, I want to have a character that my people can relate to," which basically saying is fuck other people. Just say, you know what, I'm just making it for my characters. But what happens when your people don't like the character and say, you know what, oh, you create a black woman, but she's too light skinned. She ain't a black woman, but she's a black character, and and it's like it's that type of thinking that ruins that makes it harder for people to create content because people are, oh well fuck it, I'm tired of seeing this shit, like, and that's the problem I have with modern day creators. Is like I talk about all the time, when you're creating and you literally basically when you're creating, you can't be closed minded, and I fucking hate closed minded ass people, man. It's like, oh yeah, let's make this character black, let's have black writers. Yeah, but if you fucking suck as a fucking writer, I've been read. I don't read I hate Secret Wars. I hate they made Captain America evil and shit. I think that's the dumbest shit ever. I hated the Civil War too. I fucking hated those events because I feel like it basically just Civil War was okay event back in the day when it first came out. But still, like my point is, like I fucking when companies do this shit because it's like you go against the legacy of a character and you ruin you ruin any relatability to the character, like you said before, Armchair, where it's like you ruin any relatability to the character when you motherfucker be the great diversity race bullshit. Oh, let's have black writers. That's my problem with Marvel currently. It's like Marvel is so incompetent. Y'all call them incompetent, where they don't realize, like, fam, like you shouldn't own your loyal readers. The people that have been buying Marvel way back in the day, I haven't bought a Marvel comic book in fucking months. And the reason why I'm not going to buy Marvel because I don't support their business practices. I don't support this diversity bullshit. It's like, if you're going to have diversity, cool, but have it be done organically and not be on this whole Black Lives Matter, all white folks are evil agenda bullshit they got going on in comic books right now.
Yeah, it's so silly, man. And like making Cap, like you said, making Cap evil. I know it was some type of time travel bullshit, but it's still stupid, man. Because Cap is supposed to be, let's with Cap America especially, it's a lot of really about the powers. It's about his heart and his morality, and that epic sitting by the. He has a quote that's like, "Sit." I'm paraphrasing, but he's like, "Stand by the river of truth and say to the bad guys, I'm not gonna move, you move." So Jack Dimmer is all about morality and doing the right thing even when it's tough. Because he's just a scrawny kid from Brooklyn. So doing the right thing. It's not about you can't just you take away what Captain America is when you make him evil, do some convoluted time travel bullshit that they're doing. Where the evil guy made Captain America, kidnapped Captain America, made him a Nazi. That's just so stupid.
Yeah. And it goes against the one thing how the character originally created. And to me, if I was a creator, those two creators were still around, I'd be fucking pissed. Because to me, how dare you keep the legacy? It's the problem with modern day comic books, where it's like modern day comic books. It's like it's not about the good writing. It's not about the character development. It's not about the relationship with the characters. It's about fucking some stupid ass agenda that these assholes are trying to push. It's like I'm literally fucking fed up with the type of shit. And to me, that's why I'm saying even with DC, it's like I'm a Batman fan, and they got this. I know it's an Elseworld story. I'm tired of fucking hearing these things where some writer come out there and he has called Batman the White Knight, whatever, and it talks about Joker being cured of his insanity. He's a politician. He's trying to make Batman the villain. It's like, fuck you, man. Like, literally, fuck you, dude. And that's the problem I have. People, it's like, okay, like, I don't mind Elseworld stories, like, if it's a one-off, like, one-time thing, it's not connected to the main universe. But Batman, to me, has always been a good guy. Joker has always been evil to me. And to me, I don't mind, like, to me, in general, like I said before, I'm open to, like, I don't mind. To me, I think those stories are interesting when you make a villain good again. But the thing for
Yeah,
me,
make a one else like the Killing Joke. Make it like a one shot like the Killing Joke, and you
yeah,
can explore a Joker that got cured of insanity off on a one time deal. But the main DC universe, the Joker should always be a
evil.
guy that was a petty criminal that lost his mind and went full on to being a crazy guy that wants chaos. He doesn't give a fuck. It's beyond even anarchy. He wants complete chaos, so he wants just to destroy the world or whatever and kill, make Batman suffer, but still not really kill him either. They kind of did that good job with that in the Lego movie more than they do in the comics.
Yeah, I mean, and that's my point. Like, I feel like when you're shitting on legacy of characters, and that's why I get so mad at modern day comic books, especially Marvel. It's like you got a fucking gold mine. Iron Man is more popular than ever now. Like, I love fucking Tony Stark, man. Tony Stark is one of my favorite characters. Even though he's an asshole in the comic books, I relate to asshole characters. Maybe that's why I like Oliver Queen. I like Batman. I like Iron Man because I like rich characters. I'm not gonna fucking like most of my characters are rich people. But I feel like the problem I have with like comic books nowadays is getting to the point where I'm so fucking fed up with the shit. It's like, okay, like, god damn it, Marvel, get your fucking act together, man. Like when you shit on characters and say fucking shit, you just doing it by their. And it pisses me off more, Archie, even more, is that they try their best to say, you know what? Well, we got to appeal to a diverse crowd of black folks who don't read comic books in the first fucking place. Me, you, Stuart, Johnny, whatever. People, other mid-towns that read comic books. We read comic books because this is what we are. Because we see a lot of ourselves in those characters. And when you just shit on the characters and say, you know what, fuck this for diversity's sake, I say fuck you to your diversity. That's some bullshit, man.
Yeah, there's a good channel as I even make to related called Diversity in Comics, and all he does is just cover the latest SJW bullshit in comics. And instead of these guys making a new character that was going to turn, Iron Man into a black female or make Thor a woman, and that's not even that's insulting the actual mythology as well. Even though, yeah, it's not Thor in the comic; he's not really that much to do with the mythology. But yeah, it's just so because Thor's never a woman. It's just that's ridiculous. Thor is a male name.
Yeah, I mean, and that's the thing that pisses me off the most that I get so steamed up at because it's like, fam, it's like you shit on you basically saying fuck you to the readers that's been buying your shit for years. That's been even before the movies became popular. They've been buying your comic books. They've been loving Marvel ever since they was a kid. And then you got these dumbass social justice warriors, feminist people talking about, man, we need more diversity in comic books. And then you get diversity, and you don't even buy the comic book, and you be like, well, what's the fucking point? Why are you marketing to these people who don't buy the shit, who don't buy the source material? And that's the shit that pisses me off the most. Like, I can't stand that shit. I fucking hate it with a fucking passion.
Yeah, that is sad, man. It's sad because they're trying to appeal to fans that ain't there. Like when they put shit in, like they made like last year they came out with Jack Reacher 2, and it was some girl power bullshit, that Tom Cruise movie. I love the first movie. The first movie has some good MGTOW quotes in it where he says to the evil chick that it's like he says to her, she tried to get him on to go on a date because she wants information out of him. She's a spy working for the bad guys in the first movie, and she says like, so you got a girlfriend? And he says no, and he says, well, we can go out together, and he's like, I can't afford you, honey, and she's like, what? He's like, she says, I'm not a hooker, I'm not a whore, or whatever. He says, well, that means you're the most expensive woman there is. And then she's like, I'm not a hooker. She tells the other guy to beat him up. But he's like, a hooker. He said a hooker would have got the joke. I'm not saying you're a hooker, honey, because the hooker would have got the joke. So,
Yeah.
In the second movie, just some ass. It was some girl power bullshit. They had a young female officer in the military officer in the movie. She's fighting grown men, fighting special forces and holding her own, or just she's getting punched and get back up. When in real life, she get punched, her head would circle around, and she would be knocked the fuck out. You know what I'm saying? Because fighting special forces bad guys, so give me a break.
Yeah, man, and that's the thing that really pisses me off the most. Like, you sitting there and you trying to market to people that they don't get it, they don't care about social material. It's like black folks who bitch about we need more black characters, and it's like they give you these black characters, but you don't like them. It's like, to me, I've always had a problem with Luke Cage in the comic books, and they made him more modernized for like the TV show because of that.
The TV show still kind of pissed me. It still was kind of SJW-ish because he's wearing a hoodie to represent black men that have been shot or whatever. It's like, that's some stupid shit. This is a comic book character. You don't have to make it about this bullshit
Yeah.
this false agenda going on in the media. That it's like, but this is made by ABC, so it is going to be some SJW shit they're going to crowbar in there.
Yeah. But like my whole thing has always been about that. It's like my problem with Luke Cage's character. Like I understand he's a black exploitation character, but my whole thing to get up the whole, basically hero for hire thing. He got all these superpowers. Yes, yeah. I mean, yes, he's basically bulletproof, so he ain't like fucking Superman. But still, like the problem is like when you have a character like that, where he is this character and he is this, what the fuck you want to call it. He's this character that everybody like. He is this character that's bulletproof. You mean to tell me right now you a hero fucking for hire? You got powers. Why don't you just do it for the kindness of your fucking heart? Why they gotta pay you to do a damn job that you was given in the first
Yeah,
place?
of course, the black character. They're black and he teams up Iron Fist as a martial artist or whatever for that series. And it's like you're not gonna be like Spider-Man, who does have the kind of his heart, or even Iron Man does it. He's a businessman and still does his Iron Man shit for free. But you are a black man that should just care about the community. You're not just leaving Harlem for you. You're gonna take money to help people fight off the people that want to hurt old ladies or whatever the fuck is the storyline. Because I really don't read Luke Cage much, but I know who he is. Even before the show came up, I never really read him.
And that's my
So
thing. And that's my thing. That's always been my knock on black characters. Like even the characters that come out, like that's always been my knock on Luke Cage. Like Luke Cage, yeah, he's cool in the Netflix series, but like overall, like it's just like fam. It's like they gotta pay you to do a job that you're doing. Like and that's the thing I noticed with black characters. Like some of the characters when you create them, the whole idea. It's like it to me that shit pissed me off, bro. Like that shit thoroughly just pissed me off. But like yeah, people are shit. We've been fucking talking. That was the fucking the warm up show. But welcome back, everybody. This your boy No Filter. I got my guest armchair. I was waiting on Johnny, but I decided to start about those guys. But this episode 3 of Creator's Block. I know it's been some months, so it's been not months, but it's been some weeks since I did another episode. And today's third episode is called Drawing, and basically. I would try to get Stuart here because he's a drawer here, so he kind of whatever. Let me send him an invite. Let me send
yeah, send him another invite. He does some really good art for me. Last over the weekend, and I really appreciate it. So I was sending him ideas and summaries for the first issue of my comic, so he can do some rough drafts at least for me, and I can submit that to a comic book company and get it copywritten. Give him the rights as the illustrator for it.
Yeah. I've been trying to I'm waiting to Stuart come in there. So because he's more well versed into the topic because I can't really. I'm not like what you call it. I'm not familiar with drawing because I'm still learning how to draw myself. I'm still drawing stick people. My fucking drawings fucking suck. Like god damn it. But
I'm a little beyond stick people, but I'm not great, man. I'm nowhere near. I have a book. Check out this book I read from the library if you want to know how to draw better. If you want an actual book to read about it, and you don't want to just watch someone on YouTube do it. This book I got, it's called Cartoon Clinic.
Mm-hmm.
It's about how to take you from drawing stick figures to drawing actual comics.
Mm-hmm. I remember
tells you how to draw women and.
I remember when I was a kid. I was always into drawing, and my mom, like, she had brought me this, but it was like this one, like the Flintstones was actually run. I actually got the Flintstones complete series, and I've been watching that shit like crazy. But like, Flintstones was coming out, and it was like the old the Hanna-Barbera cartoons of the Flintstones, the Jetsons, and shit like that. And what was it? It was something. Was going on. And basically, my mom brought me like this tracing book. But she brought me this tracing book, and I got pretty good. Like I was like, what? I got it when I was 5 or 6 years old. I was pretty good. I was tracing, and then the tracing went for me, and I stopped a couple of years. And that's the thing about drawing. And I think I was Stuart be on here because he'll tell you more about it. But I think that drawing to me that's a major skill to have, man. Especially for comic books, when you see that art come to life and you see the inker bringing it life with colors and shit. I always found drawing, even though I'm a creator and even though I'm a writer, I always think drawings. To me, I know it's a tough job for a lot of people because drawing it's an art form and you have to do it. But I drew when I was a kid. I was pretty good at it, but I was never really the type of like, oh yeah, let's just I was never the type of person to always draw like that. Like I drew, I traced, but I was not the best drawer.
Yeah, exactly, man. It's hard to get good at drawing because you have to draw, make a 2D image look three dimensional is the hardest part, really, and getting the lines and knowing how to use those simple structures, simple objects, putting them together, make a face, putting them together, make a person's body or a vehicle, whatever. Using really just simple circles and ovals and shit like that, and you put them together in the right way to make a actual three-dimensional object.
Like, and that's the thing that I think drawing is a good skill to have. And for me, I think I think drawing in comic books, especially in comic books, because because yeah, you guys don't know about me, heavy into comic books, and I'm always looking at the covers because I'm a big fan of covers and stuff like that. I have a what's that Jim Lee run Batman Hush the Hush storyline. I actually got that poster.
Yeah, I love that story, man.
I actually got what he poster. He stand on the gargoyle and shit. I actually got that poster and shit. I actually got like this old. I had paid $30 for this poster. It was a dope ass poster. I'm not with Doctor.
The only thing I don't like about Hush though is a nitpick of mine. That was maybe back in like before Batman had the cape that could glide in the comics, and Hush shot his bat rope, grappling hook gun line, and he fell off the sky and got hurt. And I was like, why didn't Batman fly? I mean, use his cape to glide because he just got sniped out of the air. He didn't get shot. His line got cut by Hush. But I was like, why didn't? Because I'm so used to playing a video game. I read for the first time after, like, I heard already that they had come out with a video game where he could fly. I'm like, why couldn't Batman fly? But I guess that's before he got the paracape or whatever they call it in the comics.
Yeah. And that's one thing I noticed about like art form. Like I'm a poster guy. I love posters. I have like fucking 20 posters hanging on my wall right now of comic book shit. And like I love posters, guy. Like y'all
what posters you got, man? What posters you got?
I have like four Sailor Moon. I have like four Sailor Moon posters, 5 DC posters, 2 more. Like I have like Captain America posters, like Civil War posters, which is dope shit. I got Team Cap, Team Stark. I got Black Panther poster, which is Civil War. Just Captain America poster, Iron Man poster, a DC retro poster. I have like mostly like all the posters, the shit I watch, like most dope shit. Like I'm a big fan. Like I have more DC posters than anything though, because I have more DC posters because I think DC have a lot of dope characters and stuff like that. Like I have a poster with Satana, Wonder Woman, Supergirl, Batgirl, the whole Justice League. I got it's dope as fuck though. Like a lot of my posters are dope. I can't show it. Let me see. It's real dope posters. Like, do you have posters in your room though?
No, I don't, because we just moved here 6 months ago. So I had posters in my old room. I had poster of the zombie survival tips. I had a poster of Spider-Man. I had a poster of didn't have any Batman, but I had just a poster of Spider-Man, and I had a poster of the zombie survival tips of how to always have a gun, always have a knife, always have, be ready for zombie apocalypse. It was a cheap Walmart poster, but I like that poster. I think it's somewhere in storage now. But yeah, I'm gonna buy some more. But hell, when I move out here, I'm gonna have my own room and just have a bunch of posters of shit I want.
Yeah.
Could even though I could have some female superheroes and sexy posters. Who knows?
I gotta tell you,
some Power Girl, some Power Girl or female Black Panther posters. Who knows?
Yeah, I have like for me, because that's mostly I buy really though. Like, cause I switch them out from time to time. Like I had Batman vs Superman posters. Even though I fucking hated that fucking movie, the poster was kind of cool. I was like, okay, kind of cool merchandise wise, but that was kind of different. But like,
I remember when the posters came out. Even a year before the movie came out, I was like, that's a dope poster.
But the movie sucked.
It was like the movie sucked. I was pissed as hell. The movie Batman just killing people. The story sucked. I mean, damn, man. But if you're gonna make Batman kill people, you at least could explain it. Like, why is this Batman killing, and then why is one just kill Superman? It made no sense. You want to just kill Superman that didn't even do anything. other than kind of be an asshole. But he didn't really hurt anybody. He wasn't a villain. You could tell he's a hero. He's just a shitty hero in this movie
But you don't
universe.
piss me off with that movie. Cause I'm gonna fucking rip that movie apart one day too. Cause that shit pissed me off, bro. Like that, how the fans defend the director's cut. They be like, "Well, the director's cut fixed it," which is a bullshit half our cop out excuse to say. Basically, saying is that, yeah, we know the movie was shit, so we can give you the director's cut. And I always say this to me and Jerome. I judge you off your original product. I don't give a fuck about the director's cut. Like even if it's a good movie, I don't watch director's cut because I feel like it's like you know I view director's cut armchair. I view director's cut as like an Elseworlds, like okay, like this is the movie you wanted to give us, but you didn't want to do a 3 hour movie because it ain't marketable. So you say fuck it, we'll give you a 2 hour and 40 minute or 2 hour and 30 minute movie because we got to market. We got to have a lot of show time, a lot of screenings for this film. And it's like I look at director's cuts of any movie, even like Daredevil. I fucking hated that fucking movie. And my friend who loves that movie was like, man, you gotta watch the director's cut. I fucking hated the first. If I hated the first movie, I'm not gonna watch it. All the director's cut 30 extra minutes or how many extra minutes they add on to the fucking film of extra bullshit. They don't matter. Even if it makes it better.
Like I got to defend director's cut Daredevil because it's still not a great movie. It's still kind of cheap. They kill us fucked up Daredevil because they make him too powerful, and the CGI is still bad and dated for now. But the director's cut did make it a more watchable movie. But the Daredevil is nowhere near as bad as Batman vs Superman though.
Yeah, that movie was
Because that
terrible.
came out in modern day, and Zack Snyder is just a hack Snyder, So
Yeah.
he just sucks. He made 2 good movies. And that's it. He made 300, which is good because it's just technically taking the kind of homoerotic Frank Miller 300 and putting it to the big screen. And he made Watchmen, which was passable. So that was the only thing that he made that was good. Sucker Punch sucked ass. His other shit sucked. I mean, what did he make? Immortals 2 or some shit? That other shit with the guy that plays Superman, the British guy that plays Superman. That shit sucked.
I really want to say this to people who defend Man of Steel. Look the movie. It's not bad. It's not bad as Batman vs Superman. I can watch it when it comes on TV. I got the Blu-ray actually, so for me, I haven't watched Man of Steel ever since.
I have nitpicks about Man of Steel because Man of Steel sucked because they make Superman. They want to change Superman up to where he doesn't want to save people to keep his identity secret, which is that's totally against Superman. And also, they don't make it where Superman grows as a character. He is a little asshole. Once he gets bullied, the guy bullied him at the truck stop. He just like a little bitch with superpowers breaks the guy's truck when he should just slap the guy with his super strength or whatever, like a man would do. That's a bitch that goes around behind his back and does that shit.
There's people who defend Man of Steel and be like, well, Man of Steel, it pisses me off the most. I grew up on Christopher Reeve Superman. My dad was a big Superman fan, so it's coming from a guy that watched Christopher Reeve Superman. And I know I'm gonna get a lot of flack for saying this shit. I prefer Christopher Reeve Superman over Man of Steel any day of the goddamn week. And let me explain the reason why I feel this way I feel, man. In this stupid modern time, where people don't want to see superheroes do superhero shit, they be like, well, let's edge it up a little bit. And I'm gonna say this shit to piss off a lot of fucking fanboys. Christopher Nolan fucked up Superman. Christopher Nolan and Zack Snyder fucked up DC and fucked up a lot of superhero movies nowadays, because nowadays everything is so dark and gritty, and we gotta have Superman be an asshole the whole entire time, don't want to beat anybody else. It don't piss me off with Man of Steel. This is my fucking rap with this whole fucking movie. Is that all right? Cool, man. You want to make him fucking beat his, even you trying to ground him, which is a dumbass character because he's not Batman. He has super fucking powers. He's called Superman, a guy that can fucking fly and help fucking people. He's supposed to do this job. Batman is a different character. He's a human with a fucking gadgets and shit. I can see that with Batman. But the problem I have with Man of Steel, this is my gripe with this movie, and I don't give a fuck who get offended by this dumbass movie. The one thing I hate about that fucking movie, Pocket, when them fucking kids were drowning that damn bus, and he was like, "So you mean to tell me I should let those kids drown? Maybe." What the fuck type of advice is that? You mean tell me your son got superpowers? Even if these kids find out, okay, this kid he can do all this freaky shit. Like these kids were about to drown in their bus, and you telling your fucking son, adopted son, this kid who fucking already he has powers he can control. Oh yeah, be an asshole and don't save those people. And that's why I say fuck that movie. and fuck people who defend that piece of shit, because over it's not a piece of shit like it's bad, but still like it's like Superman was an asshole the whole time. Even the battle with fucking the battle of Metropolis when he fighting Zod and shit, and the fucking the scene that literally pissed me the fuck off when him and Zod sitting there standing, and he pushes the fucking LexCorp gas truck in front of him, and what he does instead of him using the fucking heat vision to stop the damn truck, this asshole be like he flies over the truck and hits the building, and the building collapses and falls down. And I'm like, Superman, there's people in that damn building, and people defending, well, he was inexperienced. But later in that film, he used heat vision to fucking heal Lois Lane and her injuries. Stop using that as a dumbass excuse. Man, still, I fucking hate that movie, man. I feel people who defend that shit. It's like, that's the problem I have with modern, and it goes back to comic books too. It's like, we can't have Superman be this fun, bright, campy, you know, saving cats from guys from saving a cat from a tree dude, because we don't want that shit because it ain't gritty enough. Man, fuck you, man. That's some bullshit, man.
Yeah, exactly, man. He's trying to make a character who's was made in 1930, trying to make him all dark and shit, who has superpowers from another planet. Give me a damn break, and try to make it where he don't want to save people in war because it's not. It has to be gritty, and it's like, come on, man. That's why I'm so glad Christopher Nolan's going back to just making war movies and shit. Leave superheroes the fuck alone.
Man, I say fuck Christopher Nolan, dude. That dude fucked up a lot of comic book movies.
Yeah, he did, man. He did. He's overrated as hell.
Up,
Even Dark Knight is overrated as fuck, man. Because Dark Knight makes it where Batman.
Yeah. But
yeah, Batman cannot. Batman gets his ass kicked by Bane. He gets his ass kicked by Joker. Batman's supposed to be a martial artist, master and shit. At least make him somewhat competent in a fight. He's just growling, running around like an angry drunk bat dad in a bar fighting. Like into a bar, like he fights like a guy in a bar, drunken guy in a bar. You know, he doesn't fight like this skilled martial artist that, like in the video games and the comics, he's a skilled martial artist hitting you with pressure points, hitting them where they knock out instantly and shit without killing them and shit. That's what's so skilled about Batman, because he's trying to take people out without killing them, and he's trying to take them down without killing them and shit. But and then Batman also has poison batarangs and shit they throw at you, and especially they show that in Hush and shit. So it's like they make it where Batman just run around like. Even Dark Knight pissed me off because Batman can't fight with a damn. When he fights the police is the only time he could show that he could somewhat fight. That was it, man. He gets his ass kicked by Bane. Like, fucked up Bane.
And that's
Dark Knight 3 was ass, man. Rises was shit, man.
And that's the thing that for me is like, even the Dark Knight, like I watched that movie the other day. Like, I actually got the whole Dark Knight trilogy on Blu-ray, and I watched Dark Knight over again. I'm like, this movie is not as great as people think it is. Like, damn it, like, and they blow this dude fucking like. It goes back to what I was saying before. Like, goes back to comic books. Like, people just nowadays they can't. They don't want the heroes. Like, I can't. I tell you, this is coming from going back to bringing back to the topic. But like, when I create characters, there's issues where I have like my main characters. Like, I'm not gonna say my character names, but still, like, the characters I create, they fun, bright, they want to save people, they want to do the right thing. It's like, it's nothing wrong with that type of storytelling. Like, you ain't gotta be the Dark Knight, Christopher Nolan. Oh, this is set in the grounded universe. Like, I use Black Arrow as a prime example, right? Black Arrow was a character, right? Mom's a drug addict, dad was an alcoholic. You know, he was trained by his sensei who taught him archery and shit. But he still, even though he has a dark layer to him and he hates drugs and he's a very political guy about drugs and he talks about drugs and plague the community, he's a guy that wants to do the right thing. He still goes around shooting bow and arrows and bad guys and criminals and saying, you know what? I gotta protect the innocent because I gotta protect those who can't fight for themselves. And he wants to do it. And that's my problem with my especially comic book movies nowadays, where everything, oh, this is a thinking man's movie, this is a philosophical movie. Like, no, get to the fucking point. Like, have the character be what the character is supposed to be. It's like, I know people fucking hate the like the scene. I forgot. I think it was Christopher Reeve Superman, where the girl had the cat stuck in the tree and he saved the cat from the tree. And I know people fucking hate that type of shit, man. Fuck that Superman. That Superman was fucking campy and shit. No, like, that was superhero is supposed to be. It's supposed to give you a glimpse of hope that even though you don't have the superpowers and you can't do what that character do, you can relate to the character and like, damn, man, I want to be just like him. Even though you don't have superpowers, and that's my problem with modern day comic book movies to comics. Like, characters don't want to be heroes anymore. They're just like, well, fuck it. They just find it as a goddamn burden. or like I do a lot of times with my characters where I have them go through a traumatic event where they lose a battle, they almost get killed, whatever, shot or kill on the job as their personas, and I take like 5 issues debating it, and then they come back, something dramatically happens, and they says, you know what, I got to come back because the city needs me, and he realizes like, you know what, I need that, and I'm like, that's my problem with like comic books nowadays because it's so different. Like everybody has this false narratives when it comes to characters. Oh, we gotta have it be, you know, dark, Christopher Nolan dark, where these characters gotta fucking be all philosophical and shit. Like, no, get to the point. I'm reading a comic book. I want you to do comic book superhero shit. Like, if you're an archer and you use bow and arrows as a fucking weapon, I want to see you put some fucking arrow in the guy's leg or some shit like that. But I don't want to see you fucking being like, man, this is a fucking burden like that. I fucking hate that in comic books nowadays, man.
Yeah, man. It's like, oh, it's all dark and gritty. They have to brooding like Batman. Every goddamn character wants to be basically Christopher Nolan's Batman now, where they want to be brooding. No, but the thing about did like by Marvel back in the day, you had Spider-Man who was a kid, who had problems, shit, and the new movie kind of captured that same. I mean, I only had some shit picks about the new movie,
Yeah, don't get me
the
started, man.
Homecoming movie.
Don't get me started, man.
But yeah, because it's blue pill as hell. It's blue pill as hell. You seen it?
Yeah, I've seen it.
Yeah, you saw it.
I saw. I mean, even watching, but even Homecoming, people praise Homecoming is, oh yeah, it's the second. You know, it's the best Spider-Man movie to date. I'm like, you can tell it's dated as fuck because it's like the whole idea. What pissed me off with that whole fucking movie was that bitch. That was the chick name Zendaya,
Yeah,
whatever the fuck. She
yeah.
was like, I can't go to his monument because it was built by slaves. I'm like, fuck you, man. Fuck you with this bullshit, dude. That was that shit.
Yeah, exactly.
That shit
You
really pissed
working?
me off, man. I'm like, yeah, go ahead.
It was like, oh, it's a race issue. In slavery, there was more white slaves than black slaves because it's a money issue. Wasn't a race issue. They don't give a fuck. They can make anyone a slave.
Dude, and that's the shit
You
I'm
don't talk
talking
about your race.
And that's
The bitch is half Jewish. The bitch
Yeah.
is not even 4% black, and she's talking that stupid shit. It's like, what the fuck is this shit? They crowbar her to be MJ. So they make MJ black for no reason. It's like, what? Why?
And that's the thing. That's the thing that thoroughly pissed me off with these like comic books. Is like I always said before, like Christopher Nolan fucked up a lot of things because nowadays, like don't get me wrong, I fuck with Arrow. People talk shit about that show and about season 3, season 3 was ass, season 4 was subpar. Yeah, season 5 was I think brought the series back on track. But like I didn't mind like the Arrow being like Christopher Nolan dark because I actually understood it, and I always felt like, to me, this is me in general, for me in general, I always felt like Oliver Queen in comic books as the fucking he's a bow and arrow, he's a guy, he's bow and arrow, but he couldn't fight for shit. Because if you originally read Green comics back, Green Arrow back in the day, he got his ass kicked by a lot of fucking people back in the day, dude. And it's like when you look at Arrow in the comic book, I love Arrow because Oliver Queen's a fucking badass. He can beat your motherfucking ass. But you know what the thing?
Yeah, he beat your ass, or he was just stopped killing. He didn't was killing until season 2.
Yeah,
you know, he stopped killing mid-season 2. So that was like, I'm on season 3 now on Netflix. So I'm trying to catch up and shit now because I watched it when it first came out. I'm not impressed by the pilot episode, and I stopped watching it when it first came out, and I regret that because it got better as it went on.
Yeah, and I feel
the
like
pilot episode was a corny mess. I kind of stopped watching it.
I feel like, when to me in general, I've always said this about Arrow. Black Arrow is kind of like I get some of that type of feel when my character has a dark, mysterious way that he don't kill, but he said he kill only if necessary. So for him, it's like he said he don't want to kill, but he says there's a moment where he takes up my character's taking on a pharmaceutical rep, and he's like he's trying to take down his pharmaceutical rep, and he's like this pharmaceutical rep, he's charging people arm and a leg, people digging in 401ks, people going broke, they're losing their homes due to this medicine they really need it. He visited the pharmaceutical rep the first time. He sends a warning shot. He tells him, he was like, "Why should I fear you?" And he shoots a bow and arrow, and it goes directly over his head. And he says, "Next time I won't miss." He said, "I thought you won't miss." He says, "I won't miss. I missed on purpose." He says, "Next time ain't gonna be so lucky." And he says, "Fuck you." He was like, "Wait." He doesn't listen. Pharmaceutical rep is still making tons of money off his medicine. People dying from this shit. He visited him. He ends up shooting his arm. end up hitting him in the artery and shit. He ends up hitting him. He ends up hitting him in the arm, which end up in the artery and shit. And you be like, God damn! He ends up being instead of the city praising him for taking out his pharmaceutical rep, because he didn't intend to kill the guy. He was not doing it intentionally. He would just send the guy one shot, like, you know, if you don't change his medicine, you gonna fucking see more of me. And he didn't lower the medicine, little price of the medicine. And one thing I noticed about Arrow, to me, and I talk about Black Arrow, which is what he kind of is like that. But Black Arrow is that character, and no, he takes no shit, bro. He is 100% serious. And the thing about that, even though he's 100% serious, I still have him crack a joke a while. I still have him crack a joke. I still have him be fun, because sometimes you need lighthearted moments in the comic book, because that's the thing I hate about like comic books nowadays. Going back to what I was saying before, like comic books nowadays is so goddamn serious. Everything is so damn dark and gritty and whatever. That's like, I'm like, this shit makes no fucking goddamn sense. Like, fuck, what the hell? Learn to have fucking fun. There's nothing wrong with that.
Yeah, exactly. They're not the lightheartedness is gone because of the normalization, the dark and gritty bullshit. You know what I'm saying? Like, but nothing can be lighthearted. At least I give Spider-Man Homecoming credit on that, because it was lighthearted. But all that SJW shit they put in that movie, man, they fucked up for that shit.
Yeah.
Putting that little half Jewish, half black Disney star in that shit.
You saw a drop, right? You saw a drop, right? And I think it was 62.2 drop. I think the second week of Spider-Man Homecoming. That's a big ass drop, bro. I'm sorry, man. That's a big ass drop, bro.
Yeah, because it wasn't enough Spider-Man and that shit. But that was always pissed me off on Spider-Man anyway. Spider-Man's love interest and all that shit always sucked, because it's always just some 1950s blue pill bullshit chasing around MJ. And he's eventually ends up being a grown man chasing around this redhead around. I'm like, at least Daredevil.
The only thing I like about I say Homecoming was savage as fuck. Michael Keaton as Vulture, bro. That motherfucker.
Oh yeah, I love me some Michael Keaton as Vulture, man. That was the shit, man. He was born to play that role.
I never seen somebody be so savage. That dude was like, he looked at her, he looked at Peter, he told her to go to the fucking prom and shit. And he looked at her at Homecoming and shit. And he's like, he looks at her and he looks at him, he's like, you get in my way, I will fucking kill you. I'm like, hell fucking yeah, dog. And
I love that shit right there, man. He's like, I know you're Spider-Man. I figured out that spider bit your ass. I know you Spider-Man, you punk ass, and I will kill you. And it's like, whoa, man.
What was that mean? What was that mean? Somebody make a mean out of that shit, bro. That look he gave Peter Parker, that nigga was like, people looking at him like, fuck, man, god damn, what the fuck? I'm like, hey, bro, you know what? I'm gonna say this shit. It may be crazy, but I think Vulture's probably one of the best MCU villains, bro. Like that dude.
He is, man. He for real, man. He is, man. Because and also they took Vulture, who is kind of a trash and corny character from the Stan Lee Amazing Spider-Man, original Amazing Spider-Man shit. They took a corny character like that and made him a badass. So that was like kind of cool. They did that in a Spider-Man movie. You know, took a character that's really corny. A guy, old dude in a skin tight bird outfit, and make that into a badass character like that. You know what I'm saying? So that was cool that they did that, at least, you know.
Yeah. And that's the thing I like about that movie. Like, the movie is not bad, people. Don't get me wrong. It's better than Batman vs Superman. I can say that. It's way better than Batman vs Superman, thank God.
The SJW shit took it down like 3 stars out of 10. You know, it took it from 9 stars. The SJW bullshit took it down to like 6 out of 10 stars. Yes. You know what I'm saying? For me personally, the crowbar and the 2 give you not only 1 black love interest, but they give you 2 black love interests for no reason. Marvel's already come out with a Black Panther movie, but they give you in a Spider-Man movie for no reason. They give you 2 black love interests for no reason, and that was just some corny shit to me.
You think what do you think? Do you think Justice League gonna be bad, man? Like, do you like? Because
it looks like that way, man. Because they have not shown any type of. Wonder Woman does not prove that Justice League will be good. Just because Wonder Woman was passable, and that still was a SJW movie. Wonder Woman, just because Wonder Woman was passable, Wonder Tranny, looking like a tranny in that damn movie. Even though Wonder Woman was passable, that don't mean that Justice League gonna be good. It's gonna be Zack Snyder still directing the damn thing. That means it's in the same writer. That still shitty got writer from Man of Steel, or Man of Steel was not as bad as it could be, but the same writer that made that ass bullshit Batman vs Superman is making Justice League. So that shit, all indication show is gonna be shit. The trailer looks stupid. From what I've seen from the trailer, it looks stupid.
bruh. You know what? And
Aquaman making one-liners is
you know what's
corny
so
shit.
funny? You know, I remember I was talking to a friend of mine about this shit the other day. I was like, you know what, man? Because we were talking about Justice League. He's hyped for Justice League. Oh my god, that movie gonna rock. I say, dude, Batman vs Superman sucked ass. Man of Steel was okay. I'm like, Wonder Woman was 7 out of 10, average, and like that movie was overall. And Wonder Woman to me, that at 93% on Rotten Tomatoes, that shit need to be a fucking goddamn 70, bro. That shit don't deserve no goddamn Rotten Tomatoes, bro. But the thing
I just saw War of the Planet of the Apes, man. A lot of shit on Rotten Tomatoes, way overrated. That's what I was telling my brother. I said, overrated don't mean it's bad. Overrated means exactly what this means. Overrated. It means that they're rating it too high. They're rating a movie that's a 6 out of 10, a damn 90. Like they just took Molly or some shit, and everything looks better than it is.
I literally said this when Wonder Woman first came out. When that motherfucking rate come back and it was like 92, 93 on Rotten Tomatoes, and I said, yo, this movie right here. You think about, let's say 20 years. I live to see 20 years, right? If I'm 20 years, I'm still living, right? This movie right here, Wonder Woman, they gonna say it's up there with the Christopher Reeve Superman. I said there's no way up there. It's nowhere up there. And I said let me tell you reason why this movie did good. And I said I pissed off some people. They got real mad. He got real mad because he defend anything DC movie. He defend every DC, even Batman vs Superman. And he talking about Wonder Woman was the greatest movie ever. I said, let me tell you reason why this movie did good. One, it was agenda behind it. Mixing with that bullshit, saying wasn't no agenda behind it. It was agenda behind it. Yeah, they beat you over the head with that feminism shit. Yeah, they made that joke in the comic when they was on a boat and they were talking about reproducting and guys is just used for sex, whatever. That shit going into it, that bullshit going into it. Yeah, that shit going into it. But the reason why the movie did good is because no critic don't want to. No critic. This is why I say when the reviews came out for that movie, I say fuck those critics. Every critic who reviewed that movie, even fucking critics on YouTube who reviewed this movie, talking about, oh my god, it's the greatest movie ever. I'm like, dude, like, all right, okay, we get it. The movie's average. Like, actually state your fucking fact point and give us actual facts about what makes the movie real bad. Like, that's my problem with it. And that's the reason why I say movie's highly overrated, because everybody praised it for what it was. Like, oh my god, like Spider-Man Homecoming, people praised it. Oh my god, it's the greatest thing ever. And then the motherfucking drop came, and everybody's like, oh fuck this movie now. I'm like, no, like, if we're gonna do this with Spider-Man Homecoming, we do this with Wonder Woman. No, praise the movie for what it was. A 7 out of 10. It's average at least. It's like, it's average but okay. Like, it's average 7.
Well, we got, and also what's happening now is we got such shitty, a lot of big budget shitty movies like Batman versus Superman, and Man of Steel was like kind of average, slightly above average, like a slightly warmed over turd. It's not complete dog shit, but it's a human turd. So, but you got those movies coming out, and then people have these rose-colored glasses when they see some average shit now, because we it's been a while since we got a really truly great superhero movie up there with like the second Spider-Man movie. You know, some truly great superhero, or Logan, only really good superhero movies come out recently that was like almost perfect.
Yeah. And that's the thing that pissed me off with that one movie. I told him, I said flat out, the reason why you can't put that movie in the Christopher Superman because there was no agenda behind it. Batman 1989, and I'm gonna keep saying this all the time. Batman 1989 is the best Batman movie of all time. Debate me on it. You can say Dark Knight, but that movie was highly overrated. Batman 1989 is Batman.
Carter, that's wow. Yeah.
Joker. I mean, dude, that is Batman to me, in my opinion. I don't want to hear this shit about,
the Dark movie Knight isn't perfect, but the best bet for live action, the only thing that beats Batman 89 is something like the 1993 Massive Phantasm, or all the anime movies like Red Hood, Dark Knight Returns, or shit like that. Only animated shit beats 89 because the animated shit is strictly taking the comics and making Batman where he doesn't kill, and he has the kick-ass cars and the sidekicks and shit. But 89 is the closest, even though Batman still killed in that shit, and they made it where Joker is Batman, killed Batman's parents. That's still the closest live action shit we ever got. And that's by crazy ass Tim Burton made that shit. So you got to give that shit credit because he is kind of like an eccentric genius, you know?
Yeah. I mean, and that's my point, and that was my huge point. I was saying with a critic, I was telling him, I was like, Wonder Woman had an agenda behind it. First of all, them bitches that pulled that fucking what was it, that theater that pulled that all female theater bullshit. And I said, one, I can't give this movie credit because it was a agenda behind it. And two, even though Warner Brothers was not associated with that shit, they didn't stop it at all. And I said this flat out to him. I said, look, the reason why this movie is 7 out of 10 average, it ain't great. It's not gonna stay the DCEU. Matter of fact, Justice League gonna be dead. Justice League gonna be fucking terrible looking by the trailers. Every time I see that fucking trailer, I get steamed up watching seeing this shit. Like, why this shit still getting made again? But the thing, what I was telling him, I was like, look, the reason why this movie got made is it's the lucky. I call it the luckiest movie of all time. And he got mad. And it's like, what the fuck do you mean it's lucky? I'm like, dude, just because it's DC doing it. Here's the thing. I love DC. Look, I have more DC shit. I have more DC characters. I have all Justice League Unlimited. I have all DC cartoons, Superman. I have all DC animated shows. So I love fucking DC. But like, just because DC's on a fucking logo is on the shit, I'm not gonna praise some shits. Shit. If the shit is bullshit, bullshit is bullshit. But the reason why I say Wonder Woman is the luckiest movie of all time is agenda behind it. And that movie overall, that script was fucking terrible. That final battle scene with fucking Ares was CG, was CG fest. That shit was terrible. Drugged out too goddamn long. You should have ended it with the scene when she was climbing up the ladder and she was fighting the war. She was fighting the veterans and shit. And she was trying to help. She was trying to help people in that small village and shit. You should end it at that point, and the movie would have been good. The reason why I said movie 7 out of 10 because one, that movie dragged the fuck on. That fucking battle scene with Ares and shit was fucking terrible, dude. Yeah, it was a good visual.
To me, Wonder Woman is a 5.5 out of 10. That's how I get. Spider-Man's a 6 out of 10. Yeah. And even though this is not a comic movie, Planet of the Apes is a 6 out of 10. So Spider-Man's 6.5 out of 10 for me. And Wonder Woman is 5.5 or 5 out of 10 for me. Because there's too much bullshit. I'm not a Wonder Woman fan anyway. So too much feminism, a little feminism jokes in there. And too much of that shit in there. Fuck that movie.
Yeah. I mean, but even my point and that's my point where people don't understand, like, that's the problem I have with modern comic book movies nowadays. It's not about the movie itself, it's the agenda behind it. Like, that's why I'm saying, like, when people say, oh, Spider-Man Homecoming is the best, I'm like, if you take the social warrior bullshit out of it and you just make it just based off a favorite film, the movie overall, and to me, what's what pissed me off with that movie, dude? That Spider-Man AI, the AI in the suit was the dumbest shit ever in my lifetime. I saw that in the trailer. I was like, yeah, making him fucking Spider Iron Boy was the dumbest shit ever. I'm like, this ain't Spider-Man, yo. This motherfucker's Iron Boy. He just fucking shoot webs and shit. That's
Iron Spider Boy. Iron Spider Boy, or whatever they call it in the comics. That was some dumb shit because this is the early. They're giving us an early Spider-Man, but he already has the Iron Man tech in his suit. They could have gave him a sleek. They could have gave him even a lower tech version. I hate that hoodie suit that he wears, but give him he saved up some money and got a suit. He made his room a suit that was sleek. He has those damn goggles. Where he get that shit from? That shit looks high tech in that stupid hoodie suit he has. Anyway,
you know what he should have did when he put that ugly ass homemade suit on. He should have fucking did that suit, like what's the suit in fucking Amazing Spider-Man 2, where he had a spare suit that looked just like that, but it's kind of different, where it's not like the big ass red spider in the back of the suit and shit. She had like a homemade classic suit, and it's kind of like paying homage to the comics, but it's kind of still.
That's what they should have made it, not where he makes his own suit. When Iron Man takes his suit back, he never gets the suit back. He makes his own suit, but doesn't look like ass. He actually takes his time, makes it in the school workshop class or something. And since he's so he's Peter Parker. He's ingenious anyway, so he can make his own suit, and it looks almost like a poor man's version of like Amazing Spider-Man, the Amazing Spider-Man original suit, where it looks kind of like. That suit was still a little high tech because this was a teenager made that, but Andrew Garfield was like 30 at the time. But it looks like, you know what I'm saying? You know what I'm trying to get across. Like, he makes a suit that is like a homemade suit, but it looks like the original comics, but it's more homemade and out of a high tech fabric he somehow scavenged from somewhere.
Yeah, I mean, and that
AI shit was trying to crowbar in some comedic relief out of nowhere, like just stupidly.
Yeah, and that's the thing that's the thing that pissed me off with that movie, bro. It's like, I love Iron Man and everything, That works with Iron Man because that's because Tony Stark always working on suits to give him a better edge of what he's fighting. So I can kind of understand it. But when you do it with Spider Man, you take that one thing away from me. Like that's why I even I'll tell you honestly how I really got into comic book Spider Man. Like Spider Man, I started reading Spider Man comics, the old ones too. I started reading it 23, 24, and that's when my first character got created. So that's what I'm saying. I feel very personal attached to that movie because Spider-Man is what made me fully embrace being a geek and said, "Fuck it, I'm just gonna be."
No, yeah, I mean, I had Spider-Man for my 16th birthday. I got a Spider-Man. It was kind of a cheesy run of it because they just gave him a black outfit because Spider-Man 3 came out. But I read Spider-Man Back in Black. I had the full book of that, or Spider-Man Back in Black series, where I read so many times I eventually sold it because I got sick of it. But I read that where he beat up the Kingpin in prison and shit like that, or he swung around and had to save Aunt May from a sniper and shit. But that's what I like about what Spider-Man is. He's just a guy in no armor, no high-tech gadgets except for the web shooters. That was it. That's Spider-Man, where he's just talking to himself. He doesn't have no dumbass AI and shit.
Yeah, and I feel like you fucking with you fucking up with the classic lore, the things that make people like when Peter Parker like Spider-Man. People hate. I hated Spider-Man. That movie was ass though, but like I love Spider-Man too because he was trying to be like he was. Was he a photographer in the second movie? Was he a photographer or was he, I think he was a college student in the second one where
he's a college student and a photographer still in the second movie and Pizza Boy.
In the second movie, right when he was a photographer and a college student, he was working for Daily Bugle, and I was like, okay, I like this shit. Like I like this older Peter Parker. He's dealing with stuff, and he's finding Spider-Man as a burden because he's trying to live a normal life. When teacher tell him like, I wish he would show up to class more, and he got rid of the suit, and then Dr. Octavius went evil and shit, and he's like, well. Fuck it, I gotta fucking come back and just do what I need to do as a human being. And it's like that's my thing when I always say to people all the time, like that's my problem with comic book movies in general. Like it's like you take that one thing away from them. It's different. It's like they took Batman away and say, his parents was never killed, right? It's like, or if his parents was killed, it's like having Batman and they say, you know what, Batman is this murderous psychopath. Like he just like in Batman vs Superman, right? I didn't mind it because he was 20 years into his career, so it can kind of make sense. But it was highly inexperienced, and he was like a year in, and he just started wiping out guys, and you'd be like, okay, why the fuck is he killing? Why the fuck is he killing the criminals? Like, I mean, what's the reason?
Most of the guys were just like mercenaries, just working for Lex Luthor. They were actually in a way kind of legitimate because they are just working for Lex Luthor, weren't they? I mean, weren't they just kind of truck drivers in a security vehicle for Lex Luthor? They're kind of just like Blackwater type of guys, and you're just murdering them. It's like they probably have wives and families or whatever, and even from a Blueprint perspective, they probably have wives and families and shit like that. Why do you just murder these guys that might have moms, wives, families, all that shit? You don't give a fuck about their family at all.
We're gonna go with the topic, crazy block. I'll ask you a question. So when you're watching a comic book movie, do you think that when a studio is making a comic book movie, do you think that, and this goes back to the relationship drawing, whatever the topics, but do you think that when a studio is making a comic book movie based off any character, it can be Spider-Man, Batman, Superman, whatever, do you think they should follow source material, or they just follow source material but make their own movie at the same time? Do you think source material is important, or they should just?
I think it's real. I'm sorry to cut you. I think it's real important to follow the source material to a point to where you can change little things in here. Like the Daredevil season 1, that was decent. Season 2 went off the rails for me of Daredevil, but season 1, it was like pretty close to the 1993 Frank Miller run of Daredevil Man Without Fear, enough to where it's like, yeah, you're not gonna make it perfectly line up, but it was close enough to where it lined up a little bit. The little shit picking about stick, soul shit, all that shit was bullshit. But yeah, but make it fly off the rails where it's totally not. You might as well just make your own original character if you're not going to follow it at all. You're going to just change it all the goddamn way, to where you're just like, this is Batman vs Superman. Batman's not even recognizable. I know he's in the future and shit. But damn, you make it where he's just going to murder motherfuckers. Even Frank Miller Batman that is based off Frank Miller, right? Batman in Dark Knight Returns doesn't kill. So it's like, it don't make no damn sense.
But that's what I'm saying. That's what I'm saying. I asked you that question because I feel the same way. And I'm bringing it back to this topic with creators, with this series called Creators Block. I think I'm bringing it back to that topic because you create, I create, Stuart create. I don't know if Johnny creates, but shout out to Johnny Midnight. He couldn't make it today because he had to work. But like, like my thing is like, I asked that question because to me, if they're making a Black Arrow movie, I want it to follow the source material, but still able to make their own movie, but follow the source material. What I mean by the source material, they could change the costume, but you don't change the origin. If the character's serious and his parents was his mom, his dad was an alcoholic, mom was a drug addict who died from an overdose, and it's like this what you need to focus on. Get to the character. What drives this? What drives this character to do what they want to do? And it goes back to what I'm saying. What Creators Block is saying is that to me, if they came to me and said, "No, Flex, we'll do a Black Arrow movie," and I say, "Okay, cool," and they says, "Well," and they ask me about ideas. They say, "What's your idea on it?" And I said, "I don't know. I don't have no experience in making a movie." But I think if you're gonna make a movie, I want it to be accurate to the comic books because you're basing off the source material. And they say, well, I think that's a dumb idea because it don't work that way. But you're basing it off my source material, my character I created, and you ask me my input on it. So you want me to just you want my input, but you don't want to follow source material. Well, I think that's stupid. That don't work. Or say if it's like, or say if you may have a costume in the comic books that doesn't work, and they say they ain't practical. I said, well, or say things like a lot of my characters, I'm sure you can relate. A lot of my superheroes, they got capes and stuff. They fly around. They got trunks outside of their costume. And to me, what I miss about comic book costumes back in the day, is that I know people find the Christopher Reeve's costume a little outdated, and I agree that the big red trunks is kind of outdated. But with the way costumes are modernized nowadays, I look at Black Panther in Civil War, right? He had the little eyes, whatever, and Deadpool had the white eyes. And I said, if they can give us a comic accurate Deadpool, they can give us a comic accurate Superman or a Batman. Like I understand with Batman because there's been tons of Batman costumes where he doesn't wear the underwear outside of the trunks out of the costume, so I can kind of understand from that perspective. But when you look at Superman in general, to me, I always prefer the red trunks because when I think Superman, I think red trunks, and you take that away, I mean, people say, "Oh,
well, personally, I'm fine with now. Superman is wearing a blue jumpsuit, right? Because he's wearing the blue jumpsuit, and he's wearing they took away the red trunks in New 52 and Rebirth, So I'm fine. The red trunks actually are a little because it comes from the strongman days of the circus and whatever. I'm fine with no red trunks, but just the character is what is most important to me anyway. The whole morality of the character. They fucked that up with Man of Steel. That's why I hate Man of Steel because they made where he don't want to save people. He's a petty asshole. He's gonna sneak behind the guy's back and break his dad's truck. That's not Superman to me. Superman straight up and shit like that. Doesn't sneak around and do stupid shit like that.
But the reason, we can agree to disagree. I just think, to me in general, I know people say the red trunks is kind of outdated, but I think you can modernize it. People think that it's undoable. It's not, okay? Like, here's the thing: Spider-Man. Like, I'm using Spider-Man: Homecoming as a prime example. That homemade suit, it looked as shit on fucking film. It's shitty as fucking hell. Like when we saw it in Civil War, I was like, okay, in motion, that one shot, cool. But when he put it on, you be like, oh damn. And that's what I'm saying. Like I'm saying, to me, in general, if I had a comic book character, like I have characters that flight and they got super strength and super speed, whatever. And to me, in general, I would want the comics from the comics because to me, I wanted to be brought page to life. That's why I like the Amazing Spider, not the Amazing Spider-Man. I like Spider-Man 1 and 2 because I feel like even though it was an older actor playing Peter Parker, it was the heart and soul of Spider-Man that made it relevant to me. I like this take.
Yeah, his dorkiness. He looked the part when the first movie when he was wearing the glasses and shit. He looked like the original.
Yeah.
Spider-Man, even though he was like 5 years too old to be. He's not playing. He's like 25, and he was playing late teens. So
yeah.
That's only gripe about the first movie and the organic web shooters. That's only my only two nitpicks about the original Sam Raimi. I like the tone. I like the campy tone of it. I like the campy tone. I just wish they said only thing they needed to add was the organic. I mean, the mechanical web shooters and and actor was a little too old, or they need to explain that we're just going to make him in college if he's going to be that old.
Yeah, but the thing, and that's what I'm saying. Like for me, maybe it's me because I prefer older characters. Now this because the question is going back to Crazy Black. Is bringing it back to the topic. When you're making characters, do you prefer to create older characters or younger characters? And what I mean,
No, I prefer older characters because they have more maturity, more experience. I'm not trying to appeal to children either, so I want older characters. I like if I was thinking making an alien, of course their years are different, but I always make them the equivalent of about a 30-year-old man, young man, or something like that, or late 20s man, because he has more experience.
I think the reason why I asked you that question because most of my characters, I have like five female characters that they're like 8 years old, whatever. They're like 8 years old because I create kids for my main characters. So just I feel like I like to challenge myself like as a creator. But I feel like I feel the same way, dude. I prefer 18 through 20. I prefer 18 to 20, 18 to 30, 18 to 20. I prefer characters to be older because you can tell a lot more stories with them. You can do so much darker things with characters. Because if you do a character like I talk about, like I have a hard time like when I create kids characters. Even though I'm a great creator, I struggle with kids because I'm not a kid. I'm not a 5 or 6 year old. I'm not a 5 or 6 year old. You know, I don't know what kids deal with nowadays. I mean, yeah, they got smartphones and shit like that, but still, like, I mean, kids nowadays are different because we grew up. I'm pretty sure me and you grew up in the same. We grew up kind of same or different, but like,
yeah, you're only 2 years older than me, so yeah, we around the same. We're pretty much the same generation. We're both millennial, whatever they call it, right?
Yeah, we grew up in the same generation, but like what I was saying before, like when I create characters, like I prefer the characters to be in college or attorneys or they're billionaires, they're whatever. Like I prefer these characters to be older because when characters are older, you can do so much with them versus if you have a what you call it, you have a young versus if you have a younger character. When you have a character that's 8 years old, you can only write so it's only so many stories you can do around that character being 8 years old because that's a kid. So you don't want the kid to get
unless you make it like Captain Marvel or something. He says a magical word and he becomes an adult magically, and he can do whatever he wants. Then
But you know what? I'm
something clever like that.
I really say this to me, and that to me in general, I like Captain Marvel, but I always find that gimmick is kind of terrible, man. I never understood it. The character, like people love Shazam, and I think he's a dope character. I think Black Adam is one of my favorite DC villains. But when I think about when I literally think about when I literally think about the whole Shazam, and then he becomes this he becomes this man for some reason. I have a problem with that, and like I said before, I understand a little bit why it works, but this is my thing. This is my thing. This is my thing. Has always been. This is my thing with life in general. It's just that I said this, and I have said this many times. I think that gimmick is terrible. I think it don't work on film. It work in comic books because it's comic books. It'll work on an animated cartoon because it's cartoon. But like they try to make a Shazam movie, right? It's like, so you mean tell me you can get a kid, you can get a grown ass man, and you can get a kid to play. Like it don't work the way you may think it is. Like that's what I'm saying. Like that's what I'm saying. When you have an older character, just have the character be older. But I think it works in comic books because in that form, it's like, and to me, I'm not knocking the character. The character's a good character, but I just think to me, I always thought that gimmick kind of terrible. Like he's a 8-year-old kid. He's 8. I don't know how he's in the comic when he's a kid, but
He's 8, and when he's a kid in kid form, and his actual age is 8 and or 10 or something like that. It's like that type of right before puberty kid or some shit, and then he says a magical word, and then he becomes, bam, he's a grown, superpowered adult.
Yeah, but like I asked you the question, like when you create that. So like, do you create more like when you're creating characters? Do you prefer? But like, would you be open to? I mean, I'm just asking you this question. If they challenge you and say, you know what, do you mind? Like, do you mind?
Creating what? Creating a kid character? Right?
You can't just challenge yourself and say, you know what, I can do it. Like just prove it. So you might not use the character, but you just touch yourself though.
Yeah, I can do that. Yeah, I mean, I can create any type of character I want essentially. It just takes time to come up with a concept. But yeah, I can create any age. But I'm just saying my preference is early adulthood is my preference for my age range because That's my age range, and I prefer dealing with that because, yeah, like you said, I'm not a kid anymore, and it's hard to relate to kids now because when I was a kid, it's in 1990s, it was different than it is now. You have smartphones. We had Game Boys, so we had no smartphone.
Yeah, I mean, and that's what I was saying before. Like, I noticed when I create characters, like I look at I'm not saying my niece's name. I look at my niece in general. She's she's 1 year old. She about to turn 2 in February of next year. But like, I look at her, and I'm pretty sure she's gonna be growing up in a way different time than I was because I had N64, PS2, DVD players, DVD thing player was a DVD thing was a thing back in the day. I grew up on dial-up internet. I grew up on a lot of this shit, bro. Like, I grew up on a lot of things that y'all think create N64. What is it? Warcraft, Minecraft graphics with fucking N64 and stuff like that. You got,
Yeah, man, I had N64, man. Was playing N64 up until it broke in like '07.
yeah,
So I was playing N64.
yeah,
And I got it in '96 or '97,
yeah.
and I've been playing that shit. I play that shit for a decade.
Yeah, and I've been telling, I literally not, I literally been tell, I have literally been telling people like, yo, I grew up way, like, I'm part of the generation, but I grew up way back in the day, dude. I grew up on dial-up and all this other stuff like that, and that's what I'm saying. The older I get, I prefer mature characters because I can tell more mature stories with them, versus if you have a kid at 8 years old, you can only do so much with the character, like. Or like for me, I rather have if I would create an older character, I would create a teenager. Like she had to be 16, 17 because the character goes through what they go through. But and that's what I'm saying when you create characters, it's like you gotta be mindful of the audience too, because guess what happened? These kids, these 5 years old, they ain't got the money. They don't have the money to buy the comic books. They want to. The parents usually are buying stuff for them, unless they just open up a lemonade stand or whatever. But like that's what I was deeply saying about like when you're truly creating. What is that?
Yeah,
What,
yeah.
yeah, but like like and that's what I'm saying. Like that's what I'm saying. Like for me, it's like you know um what is it? I'm looking at the chat. I'm looking at the chat right now. I'm trying to mind do this thing at the same time. But like going back to what I was saying before, like I prefer older characters. And I wish Stuart was here, man, because I really want to talk go into drawing, but I can't go into drawing as much because he kind of like
Yeah, he's a king of the art around here, man.
he's
So
good at drawing. He's good at drawing, so he's real good at drawing. Like how long have we been doing this? How long, what time?
he did a good job. I'm not gonna talk about my shit in detail. I don't want my shit stolen, but yeah, man, he did a good job on my art or my alien concept.
Yeah. Yeah, but like, what time is it? It's 3:24 now. Shit, like, I'm looking at my internet 3:36 more minutes. But um, um, aren't you like I'm about to end the stream right now. But because I
Yeah,
know,
man, I'm about to. I need to run some errands too, man. So
yeah,
I'm go ahead and get off, man. But it was good talking to you, man. This is a good stream. I really want Stuart next time. I really want Stuart to come in and talk about how he's coming out and doing his comic book and how my comic book is coming along and shit.
yeah,
So
yeah. So yeah,
definitely needs. I'm gonna definitely donate to him too
I want
for
guys.
doing that.
Guys in the stream here. It's been fun. Check got things to do. I got things to do. But what's your closing thoughts before we end the stream?
Oh yeah, man. I just think that what you said about the SJW shit was on point. I think that I think we disagree on some nitpicks about about Superman and shit, but in general, man, we're on the same page about like what we think about the big comic book companies and their shitty movies are coming out with. Like,
Yeah,
yeah, some of them are okay, like Homecoming, but they all that SWJ shit. And then those nitpicks I have about the movie take it down way down a notch and shit. But
yeah,
like, I just think that the best way to rebel against that is like what we're doing. We're trying to make our own characters. We don't have the money and shit really, but I'm gonna submit my shit to Image Comics when Stuart writes me my first promo issues of it, my shit. So
mhm,
get that shit copywritten and submit that to Image Comics. If they don't pick it up, I'm gonna make my own independent shit and sell it on Amazon. So I'm gonna just do that.
yeah. So like well, basically what Armchair said. It was a good discussion, guys. I mean, this was a very in discussion. And I think next episode we're going to discuss copyright because I really want to get go deep into that because I think me, you,
Definitely.
yeah, we need to discuss that because I think copyrights. it's important that this is what this series is about. This series is for creators out there. You can be right. And creators block is not just people that want to be in the comic book industry. It's about, for those that want to do literature, whether it's a novel, whether it's, whatever. Like it's important to discuss these topics because that's why I created the series, because I wanted to make a series that was important, that all mentals can relate to. And you ain't got to be in the comic books to relate to the series, that we all are creators in our own way. And I think that the more we discuss these topics different, but yeah, this is no filter right here. Armchair, you was a hell of a guest, man. I hope I have you. I hope next time,
Oh, it's great doing it, man. I really appreciate it. I think you're a good host. Man,
yeah.
no filters.
Yeah, this
Shit,
was
man.
no filter right here. This is episode 3 of Creators Block Drawing. Peace out.